allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting come to order.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any additions, corrections to the agenda?
No.
Seeing none, all in favor of the agenda as printed, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair says aye. Agenda has been approved. Public
Go ahead.
Public input? Anybody want to provide public input? Anything on the agenda?
Move to approve the minutes from March 17th.
Second.
Minutes in front of us, any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor of the minutes from March 17th, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair
You
votes.
didn't get one today, but you can have mine if you want. Move to approve claims and authorize the auditor to issue checks.
Second your motion.
On discussion for claims, authorize any additions or corrections on the claims? Seeing none, all in favor of the claims, say aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. We have no personnel changes and none in my packet, so we'll look to set the date for the public hearing for FY27 budget. Cassandra's saying either 14th or the 21st at 10:30. Which one, what would you suggest?
Whatever the chair desires.
14th?
14th is fine.
I'd move to set the date for the public hearing for the fiscal 27 budget for April 14th at 10:30 a.m.
Second.
First and second, all in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. We have set the public hearing. Discuss approval for partnership for transfer funds for the replacement reserve account for operating account for the community-based services enriched housing. So we're on that item.
Move to approve the transfer of funds.
$21,178.
Okay. And why don't you just go ahead and say what that's for, Cassandra?
So that is going to be the housing's portion of replacing a roof. The rest is going to be funded through a grant. And that just is our dollars that we set aside every year for bigger expenditures, and anything over 5,000 takes the housing board along with this board to approve that transfer.
Okay. Great. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of the transfer of funds, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. We've approved that. We're at committee updates.
I had 4 meetings at Intercog on Thursday. Started out with the Transportation Advisory Committee meeting. We do need a representative from Bremer County area. I initially thought CBS might be a good person to provide input there, but then when I saw the printout, that we apparently don't use them much, Intercog for transportation services through
We do
Intercog.
not.
So I think that I'm gonna reach out to someone from Waverly Elderly and Disabled Services or Waverly General Public and see, so do you know anyone?
Waverly Homes.
Waverly Homes maybe might be a good, do you know who I would contact to see if they'd want to? It's an advisory role, so it's not essential that you're in attendance every meeting, but we struggle to make quorum since we're down like 5 members. Every county gets an elected official, plus they get a appointed official to represent this council. So Colette Shares was the person for years and was always at every meeting. I don't know if she retired or what, but she was absolutely phenomenal for being in attendance. So if you, Bob, if you can think of who that might be and let me know next week, then I'll start reaching out to them about that. And then at 11:30 I had executive meeting. at the exec, we passed a consolidated grant application after public hearing that was recommended by the Transportation Advisory Committee. So, and then at noon, we had our regular board meeting, well attended, had a quorum, got the final fiscal year 25 audit, which I have now turned over to our financial person, and she can put it in whatever record she maintains for that. And then at 1:15 started a series of extra meetings to talk about block grants for the upcoming years. And then following that meeting, the engineers all met together, and the elected officials were excused so the engineers could put in their arguments about which counties get what in funding, counties and cities get what in funding for the upcoming year. Good meetings, long day. That's all I have, Bob.
Corey?
I had yesterday morning met with Myron and ISG representatives in a Teams meeting to discuss all the information to be presented today, just to kind of package everything up and answer questions that would probably come up, so we'd have everything ready for our meeting later today. Discuss the electrical bids coming in drastically under what the initial bid was. And then last night I had in-person community action in West Union. It was our first in-person of the year with that group. Julie Budenberg, one of the community action employees, she now heads up the weatherization, housing weatherization program. She did a presentation last night on her new role in that capacity and what's planned for coming up for the next year. Went over financials, everything looks good. Have had a couple board members vacate their seats for other obligations, so we do have a couple openings, like in Howard County is one we're having, in Howard, Chickasaw, we're having issue finding somebody in Howard County right now, so we've got a couple open board seats to fill. But other than that, fairly quick meeting, in and out, and nothing too heavy.
Great. Attended the Veterans Affairs, and talking about where the supervisors were discussing the conferences, and so I made sure the commission will review that with us next time they meet. How beneficial it was, and some of it is they get some $10,000 for training, they got to expend it, and they got to get their credentials. So either they got to attend it virtually, or they have to attend this, and to make sure they get all their credit hours. So, but we can discuss that with them. Just want to keep you updated on the juvenile detention in Eldora. They are going to send out the 28E agreement to their member counties. We're not a member county anymore, and they did change the exit of it. You can now exit at as long as you get approval. You don't have to wait for any bonds to be resolved unless they vote you to stay in. They took that out, but they did add in a buy-in, so $1 per person in order for Bremer County to probably join. So
Per person, like
in the population of the census.
so 25 grand for us.
Yeah, 29 grand. Yeah. So that's the way it looks. So that's where they're at. Workforce development. Two things there. One is they're continue maybe some dialogue with the Cedar Rapids workforce development. So that's going well. And then secondly, I did meet with Home-Based Iowa. So once again, that's kind of a veteran recruitment effort that the state of Iowa, through workforce development, they have at least 2 people working on that, and they have a website, and they go to regional fairs, try to recruit veterans to our community. I know Bremer County hasn't done it in the past, so they're just asking the people who are willing to do it. So there's not a lot of cost outlay. Two signs that'd be down the road that we'd have to put up on highways in order to say, hey, we are a veterans friendly environment. So something that, as you talk to supervisors up in Chickasaw County, see how they appreciate that program.
We had them in to present. They presented 3 years ago.
Was
I
it
think.
when you were here?
Yeah. It was a good presentation. They talked about, there's also some incentive packages that you as a county can put together and
Yeah.
to promote it. And they looked like mortgage assistance and some other options that are out there that just kind of throw out for ideas.
Yeah, they're kind of hedging on those things and just saying, hey, what you have to offer today, just, and we have a lot of veterans groups, so, we can, use that. And if there's something like at the W or something, where they have some veteran levels that they can, if we can get some of those documented, so.
We have a completely different Veterans Board now. What's their feelings, the current one?
I just talked to him after this meeting, so I told him, to state that I would think our VSO we don't have economic development, so our VSO would probably be a point of contact. So I'm gonna run it by them,
Okay.
next meeting, see how they feel, because, they would be like the ideal gatekeepers. If a veteran's called in, let's talk to our commission members, and then they can, give them information about the community. So that was something that. Otherwise, Flag Day for June 13th is coming along. Once again, we'll have entities like our county attorney do, talk about Declaration of Independence for Youth Understanding. Auditor's Office is going to do voting for democracy. We'll have our Veterans Affairs talk about respect of the U.S. flag. And then the Cedar River Readers Theater will have a little program outside. The Boy Scouts would like to clean our Statue of Liberty out front. So any heartbreak there, any concerns there?
Well, it's done with chemicals that are accepting of that type of cleaning
Yeah.
procedure, and
So they're talking more of like a Dawn soap, just a mild cleaning.
Okay.
Just try to get the black off of it. So working with Scott, so trying to set that up sometime in April and May. So that'd be
Good.
before that. That's all that I have. A lot of stuff going on.
Morning, Lindsay.
Morning.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And then we approved Lindley's vacation, so she's gonna be gone first part of April.
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Yeah. We'll wait a minute here and we'll get going here. Morning, Gary.
Now, this gentleman knows what to wear coming into
That's
a
right. That's debatable.
Iowa, Bremer County.
That's debatable. I get a bad rash when I wear Hawkeye stuff, so I'm going for it.
Alrighty. We have
I'd move to open public hearing for ordinance 2602.
Second.
we're in public hearing. Lindsay, you want to just talk about what we're talking about, 2602?
Yes, Brady and Kenzie they have a buyer for their property off of 235th. The buyer wants to build one single-family home. So in order to do that, we would need to rezone from A1 to A2.
And we have it up here.
Correct.
So anybody from the public would like to come up to the microphone, we'll have a chair right up there, so you can just get a chair for them, and let's hear some public comment. Anybody would like to provide any public comment?
Mr. Chair, hearing none, I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Move to close public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
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 We are closing public hearing. We'll go on the first reading of ordinance 2602 for your motion.
I'd move to approve first reading ordinance 2602.
Second.
On discussion, so, and once again, This is just to allow a sale of a lot, and they're just going to have someone else buy it, build a house on there, and et cetera. Nothing out of the ordinary.
No, keep the rest of the acres in production as well, whether it's a CRP or farming it, so.
I did read, Landon, you've already approved a driveway permit conditionally, and there are
Mhm.
no issues with that, no encroachment or anything,
As long as
concerns?
there's a culvert, right?
Right.
Okay.
Does it negatively impact any of the neighbors?
Joe Sampson to the south had some concerns on how it would impact the use of his ground for his hunting and trap shooting. I don't know if you got my email. I told him to have a conversation with the buyer and, maybe they could work
Yeah,
things
that
out.
Makes sense. Probably would just be a matter of where the buyer would consider locating their actual house.
Correct.
Okay. Great. Any other discussion?
I don't have anything.
Move first reading of ordinance 2602. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Set the date for the second reading for March 31st, 26 at 10:15.
I make that motion.
Second?
All in favor of setting the public hearing to March 31st, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. We're on public hearing for ordinance 2604. Do I hear a motion?
Move to open public hearing 2604.
Second.
And we're in public hearing. All in favor of the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
We're open to the public hearing. Why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about this one?
This was rezoned a few years back to commercial to turn the barn into a wedding and event venue. That never came to fruition. Now the property owners want to rezone this back to A2 and then split off that south, probably split the parcel in half, so it would still meet the 2-acre minimum for our zoning and subdivision requirements for another single-family home. So we're cleaning up the spot zoning, and then we are rezoning for a residential development,
Okay.
one house.
So going from C to A2, C was commercial because of wedding. They were looking at a wedding venue, and they needed that as commercial now. They just want to use it for
Correct.
personal family house.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody would like to comment on this one, 2604? We have no talkers today, so that's good.
And I'd move to close the public hearing.
Second?
All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Good. We'll go to the next action item, the first reading of ordinance 2604. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve 2604 and set the date and time for the second reading on March 31st at 10:15.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll move ordinance 2604, the first reading of it, and setting the public hearing for March 31st at 10:15. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That has been approved. We'll go to the minor resolution for Schwab. Do we hear a motion on that resolution?
Would move to adopt the resolution for minor plat for Schwab.
Second?
First and second, and we're in discussion, so we'll go through. Lindsay, you want to just talk about this one?
Tanner is splitting off just shy of 19 acres to sell to Adam Hinderrocker to the north for recreational property. He's also included a easement to the south so he can access the remainder of his field.
Good. And the planning and zoning said good for this? They,
This does not go to planning and zoning since it is a minor plat. But all the circulation through the departments, there were no issues.
Do you see a downside in any way?
Nope, it's just for recreational purposes. I think it's all in floodplain, so there's no development other than maybe a tree stand. So, no issues.
good. Any other discussion? Move the resolution for the minor plat for Schwab. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That's been approved. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You have something?
Go Hawks.
Yeah, that's right.
Enough of that stuff.
Hang on here. I just want to know what they're doing. What are they building a house or what are they doing?
Lindsay?
See you later, Lindsay.
So, Gary wanted to, for this purpose, they are, remind Gary what they're gonna be doing. I gotta pull up my notes.
What's the plan?
So they are selling that parcel, they have a buyer and they're just building one single family residence.
You don't know what they're gonna do with it at all?
They're gonna build a house on it.
That's all I needed to know.
Yep, that's what they're gonna do.
We own I own the property across the road from there. I just
Okay.
wanted to know what they were doing with it.
Yep, they're just building one house.
One house?
Yep.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. Didn't say
That's
anything.
what I needed to know.
I wanted to know
Okay,
about
I'm
it.
sorry we went over too fast, so,
I was a little bit shy too.
Okay.
All
I'm
right,
Carolyn
That's all I needed
Becker.
to know.
okay,
All right, thank you.
okay.
Should have asked you more about it.
I'm sorry.
Saved myself time.
Thanks for coming, Gary.
Take care.
Your questions are all answered, or you're waiting, sir?
No, I'm just waiting.
Waiting, okay.
Thank you for replying to my email.
Just got here too early, my only mistake.
Probably be the only thing of interest that we discussed from that intercog meeting that you guys might want to see. Brandon, what do you know?
A whole heck of a lot. Pretty exciting tournament this year.
Hey, it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's- March Madness is called that for a reason.
True.
Alrighty.
This one was March Sadness
Yeah.
yesterday of the Hawkeyes. But
Another two I'll hold till next week. All right.
Brandon, how much does a boulder weigh that is 4 foot wide, 2 foot tall, by about 2.5 feet deep?
2 ton.
2 tons?
You started to ask me earlier, so we used to use 200 pounds per cubic foot for granite.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, somewhere in there.
That
So
was a
you're-
granite calculation, maybe slightly less dense depending on what it is.
Yeah.
for rock.
So you're at 2 tons might be pretty close.
2,000 pounds,
Right.
not 2 tons.
Oh, 4,000 pounds might be pretty close. So you're at 4 by 2 by 2.5 by 200 pounds a cubic foot is 4,000 pounds.
2 ton.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty darn close.
I'm not gonna lift that, am I?
Not well. Eat your Wheaties.
Lift with your back.
Yeah.
But it's rounded, so we gotta take some off.
Yeah,
of
so you'd have the
that.
corners and stuff off,
I figured
yeah.
it is a square box, so
Yeah, so it'd be a little bit smaller.
1.5 tons. Got this big rock in my front yard that we no longer want.
Just put free out there.
You might be able to get, see if they'll bring the wrestling team out and have a team building exercise to roll that out of the way.
Crack your driveway.
Yeah, right.
And then on my luck is they would roll it on one of their feet or a leg.
Yeah,
and-
right.
Normal forklift lift that?
Yeah. You won't want to jerk it up, but you could lift it.
Those forks that go up and your tires would go right down to the
Yeah,
yard. You
right.
never see them again. Tell
Well,
somebody
what-
there's a treasure under it.
Yeah.
Dig it out for you.
No, we put it there. There's nothing under it but soil.
Yeah, you want something with big tires or tracks, either a track loader or
Mhm.
like a articulated front, like one of those mini articulated loaders. It's got some bigger footprint.
Andy's got something to get it out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. Give Sam a call.
Oh, yeah, they'd get it out in a hurry.
We'll start our 10:30 action item, Landon Ward.
Okay.
Engineer weekly update. We got the tonnage all correct on
Yeah.
rocks, so let's go to the real McCoy here.
A couple quick updates. Our Midway seal coating and C38 T77 paving are both out for bids. C38 T77 we set for 4/14 opening last week. I put Midway out. They're due to my office next Friday, 4/3. I'll bring them on 4/7. Do we want to have anything formal on the agenda, or just have me bring the numbers? Typically in the past, I've signed those since it's a smaller maintenance job, but since this is kind of a bigger, we're converting a gravel to a seal coat. If we wanted to be a little more formal about it, we can. That's kind of up to you guys.
I think if you've signed them in the past, you should be able to sign them now.
Okay, I'll just bring the numbers then on 4/7 for transparency then. And other than that, I have nothing this morning. I was mildly concerned. I actually came from Miss Becker's house and I walked in and she was sitting here, so I didn't think our conversation went poorly, but I was a little worried.
She had reached out. I connected her with Lindsay late last week to get the information she wanted. And was
Okay.
just curious as much as anything.
Yeah, we had gouged her driveway into her pasture this winter, moving snow, and she was wondering if there was anything we could do to clean it up, so I was down looking at that.
Do we do Huber Edition?
Yep.
Has that ever been seal coated or anything? Or-
That is on the docket to get repaved, but it's been delayed with the 218, we don't want to do it at the same time as the 218 project and have all that stuff closed, and then also have Huber construction going on, so basically, as soon as they get that done, we'll do it.
So
So
maybe
we're
we
gonna,
could reach back out to your constituent.
yeah, we're gonna repave it.
It's gonna be,
So FY 29, or?
Depends how often, how many times that DOT project gets delayed. It was originally in for next year.
what phase are they opening up this fall?
Did you keep that?
She- Remember she said that
Yes.
at the meeting,
And I don't remember what she said and how they have that phase, to be honest
is
with
it one
you.
that kinda goes,
I don't have his phone number.
I don't know
Maybe.
if it was on here tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Just snap
They've
it.
got all that new Maple Drive done.
right?
They just had to finish on 260th there at the railroad tracks. They had to do some paving there.
But is
Which I
traffic all
think
gonna be
is-
routed there through the project?
That I don't know what their plan is for routing. I got a lot of plans early on that, but I didn't get much for phasing as they moved along, so I'm not sure
I'm
their
just-
staging
I
plans
don't
on
know.
that. Yeah. So, yeah, to be determined based on that project, so we're not.
A year
we
after
still wanna
that
be fighting
project.
them. Yep, yep.
A year after that completes.
Yeah, we've
so
got it's coming out of loss, we've got the funds sitting there in our balance, just waiting for that project to be done so we can go with it, so.
Okay, and we're just gonna seal coat it?
That'll probably be a full depth reclamation and like 2 inches of asphalt. That's what we did with Rustic Hills, and that worked really well, and the idea is we won't be back there until I'm retired.
They're good blacktop solid base
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's the original, right? That's in there.
yeah,
now.
yep, I think so.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Anything else?
I've got nothing else this morning.
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks, Lennon.
Thank you.
Monday, Tuesday.
I don't know, did we say where we were meeting?
We didn't, and secondary roads is fine.
We certainly can, yeah.
I'll just let Tony know.
Okay.
In that phone number.
No, I might have saved it when he called me a couple years ago about grading, but I can just send him a regular letter. Get it done before postage goes to 95 cents. It's only 78.
Do you want this back?
Sure.
Alrighty, we'll start our next one at 11 o'clock, just to let you guys know. So,
I see here you were here for the rezone.
Yes, right.
Which rezoning were you here for?
1224 240th Street.
Decided. This is put up by the Iowa House.
It's going from commercial to,
Association.
and it was just poof, right?
Yeah.
It should be the easiest.
yes, we did approve that.
Approved.
Well, we have it to go to the public hearing, I mean, one more reading, second reading, so.
Second reading is all,
Yeah, you just want to take commercial.
go
and-
right back to where I used to be.
Yep, and then build a house.
Correct.
Yeah, so no one had any concerns,
They wanna use
but
that.
once again, we'll do the second reading of it on March 31st.
Awesome.
So everything is going as
Yes,
expected.
right.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, I've been watching.
I figured it'd be like that. I mean, it was really hard to get it commercially zoned, so I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to get it
Yes.
back to where it used
Yeah,
to be.
yeah. it'd be-
Well, nobody-
have another-
So I have to be here at the
I don't know how
31st.
employers that are required.
Yeah,
to have
you can't
coverage,
go 100,000.
but-
Just be aware, yeah, as long as all the neighbors are aware,
But I-
and, yeah, no one, we had two other people here, but they were talking about the first one, Kenzie, so no one asked about yours.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Sorry I was late.
That's okay, that's okay. And yeah, I've got any questions?
The times they are a-changing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they are.
lot of advertising this time.
That's all it is.
Is 11 when they're gonna discuss the courthouse renovation?
Yes.
Okay. Will that be televised later?
What was that?
Will it be televised later?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be on
It
the
will,
YouTube
okay.
stream.
Okay.
What's your questions?
Well, I just need, trying to get a feel of whether it's gonna happen or not. I've got discounting that my company allows me for municipal and public projects every year, so many projects and so many dollars, and I have to figure out if I need to abandon what I don't want to use it here, because I'm using a ton of it with Miron up in Decor right now for a new school. So I don't want to, I want to use it there instead of using it here for just two doors and open. I'm with Overhead Door, I'm their regional sales manager, but I just didn't want to use the discounting here if it's, I kind of want to get a feel if it's going to happen or not, so I can say, okay, I don't have to use any discounting here, I can use it all at the new school in Decorah. And we've got several other projects in Winnebago County. They're municipal schools, that type of stuff that I can use that discounting on, so just want to see if I should, I don't want to throw my aces, here if I can't, don't have to, you know what I mean?
50-50 shot.
I know, it's,
Watch it tonight.
but yeah, that's just it. Yeah,
They
if you-
usually have it uploaded hour and a half after the meeting. It's uploaded to the YouTube
Okay.
stream, so I mean, you should be able to have an answer early this afternoon.
Well, yeah, I didn't know if you guys are gonna act on it or if I just have to go by facial expressions or, any kind of thing. All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Who's gonna be anybody gonna be on the phone from them?
I believe so.
Eric or which?
I don't remember. I think Eric is gone today.
Tom was gone today. But he was-
Tom is gone all week, but I think Eric wasn't available. He had something stacked, so he was trying to get us an email out last night with answers, and we never received it. Yeah, Tom's gone on spring break this week.
How'd you know that on that rock, by the way? Of course, I know you're not you just guess?
Rocks are heavy.
I know rocks are heavy, but.
It's a scientific approach.
No, I remember trying to estimate a rock size one time. I was way under, so I was going.
Yeah, I had it estimated at just a little over 2,000 pounds.
So when I do like gravel, like sub-base for a patio or something, I figure it at 125 pounds per cubic foot, like limestone. Limestone's not nearly as dense. Concrete placed is 145 pounds per cubic foot when it's cured. And granite is significantly more dense. And like the granite companies that we used to work with the monument business always said, estimate 200, that's kind of middle of the road, like your black, denser, more fine grain will be 212, 220. Your light colored grays will be like 190.
They brought, my recollection has been there a long time, but they brought this rock in from my neighbors. They did an addition and they found this big rock, and my wife was out there and thought that the rock would look cool in her flower bed. So one of the Smith boys, I think it was Paul, brought it over on a traditional skid loader with not such wide tires. And I don't remember cutting into my yard or anything, but I think most of my concrete visitors, they probably weren't really in the yard much.
Our old well pit at the acreage, we put a new well in because our well was only like 60 feet deep and was on the bottom. And so when I tore that out after Randy had come out and oversaw the plugging of it, and everything, so then I could tear out, was all just huge fieldstone, like stacked up with a little bit of mortar to make a pit, and then a cap on top. And I had a pretty good size, like about a 19-ton, I think it was, Komatsu excavator out there. I was digging like some swales and kind of reshaping for drainage. And I was able to pull them up out of there with that, and it was still heavy for that big of an excavator. Got them all placed, and all I had for moving them was it's a T300 Bobcat, which rated lifts about 4,000 pounds, but they'll lift double that. It stood that thing up on its nose. Two of those did, like to get it over to the pile where I put it. And I just ended up digging a hole and reburying them in the yard in an area that I wasn't going to use because
Pushed them back in.
What are you going to do to get rid of it? You're not going to set that in a dump truck and wreck the floor of a dump truck.
Well, and that's why I told my wife, I said, it wouldn't really take me that much effort to just dig a damn hole and
bury it.
Bury it. It's,
yeah,
no, it really wouldn't. Bob.
There was
It's
two
not.
that were that big that everything I could do to move
You
the rest
like-
were smaller.
You don't need to bury it 10 feet deep. Get it 6-8 inches below ground. Or?
We engraved, be the Bremer blacktop going north. You get up into Chickasaw. Jeff Edson's up kind of at the 346. He's about a mile south. Cliff's in Bremer County. Jeff's up in Chickasaw. We did a stone for each one of them. The driveway we engraved Edson on. And Jeff's he had a 8300 loader tractor, big tractor for having a loader on it. And the front tires were like flat moving rock he brought in. It was like 6 feet long left to right. I had 12-inch letters on it. That's how large the letters I engraved. About 6 hours to engrave Edson.
Who did that? You hire it?
We did ourselves. We've got all the equipment for doing it. I still do one here and there, once in a while. And, hand cut the stencil on a lot of that. I can send it out if it's something more ornate, but a lot of that we'll just lay out and hand cut.
The worst part about where I would bury it is that there used to be a willow tree there that was only cut down about 10 years ago, so I'm guessing I'd hit roots like crazy.
Yeah.
But it'd be a good day's work.
Yeah, if there's no utilities, they could just bring a mini and dig a hole off to the side of it and roll it over into it if there's no utilities.
might have been any ideas. Thought that rock would look cool.
Any camping trips lined up for spring?
We got a couple lined up. I think I probably should.
In-laws ordered a fifth wheel.
Oh, did
A
they?
little about, I don't know, she said 8 feet longer than what they have.
Oh,
Just a little bit bigger, but he was considering getting rid of his 350 and going to 150 because they didn't figure they were ever going to get a different camper. Now they got the bug in January and they went out and looked at the build facility in Indiana a couple weeks ago. Really liked the build quality.
what kind did they get?
I don't even remember.
They're all built out there.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but so the deck we built them over now, so we're to modify the steps to line up and
So they're gonna move it over there?
just leave it over there
That's
permanently.
fine.
Yeah, might do a little travel, but they really, she loves it over there. And I think she was over there more days last summer than at home.
Did you understand that Tim and Renee buy a house, or did they buy a
It's a-
spot for a?
No, it's an actual house.
It is, okay. I thought I understood it was a, like a lot, and they were gonna put their camper on it. But you're, I'm sure, right.
It's 6 miles from the border. I think the snowbird spring migration was going full force this weekend. We passed a lot of campers coming north.
Hmm.
Patrick, how are you?
Morning, you?
Good.
Yes, yes.
Eric said he was jumping on, right?
Who?
Eric.
No.
I thought he said he wasn't available today.
Good.
That's why he was trying to get his stuff last night. Conflict.
He did send an email that he didn't get a chance to get to
Okay.
the electrical guy, so he didn't have anything for us.
electrical engineers out, unable to close up the electrical panel discussion. Any timeline discussions are dependent on what we'd be doing, a larger discussion on that, and who should be had.
You said that.
Then he's out starting tomorrow through next Friday. He'll be monitoring emails remotely, but likely delayed responses. I'll just get these passed down so that way that's done. I was gonna say it's the same, it
Same one?
should be the same one.
But you added a column onto it, right?
No, I resent it.
Okay.
That column.
All right.
You guys make
I'll take it. Yeah, full size. I try to zoom in on this.
I know.
Column.
What? Uh-huh. I've done some crazy stuff with spreadsheets. They're fun to work with.
Yeah.
My previous employer did some estimating and weld counts and stuff like that, where each fitting has its own labor factor and everything, and made a table, and then I was able to, on our estimating sheet, create drop downs of the size and what it was, and it would pull that automatically over, so then it was consistent throughout, and everybody estimating, and then automatically count the welds, and so that was fun. So, it's fun. I like spreadsheets.
Give you some grand experience in there.
Well, spreadsheets are fun.
Mounting welds, that'd be a job that I don't know that I'd want to have.
It's pretty simple, honestly.
A little redundant, though.
Yes, very much so. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My wife was a estimator for a general contractor, and she was counting, whether it's rebar or concrete. It's just all accounting and what bucket it goes in, and just the time and effort going into it to make sure the estimates are right.
Yeah.
Sending large files to them. They didn't get. I haven't sent any large files today, so
Smoke detector
I'll have
about
to
to go off for that.
figure that one out.
Keyboard.
Somebody's probably not getting something that they're supposed to.
I don't know when that was, yeah.
I know.
The never-ending work of the chair. Are those the townships behind you on the wall?
Yeah.
It seems like, how did you end up with 2 extras? Is it just those 2 little Jackson and Leroy that aren't? Or is it roll into the other one? I was looking at the other day, I'm like, why is it symmetric with Jackson and...
That's a good question.
I don't know if there's a story to it or how the...
I can take it down to the archives if you want to search through. Maybe find a reason.
If you have time, you could do a little sorting down there while you're
Yeah.
All right, no folklore on it.
All right, 11 o'clock, mine construction update. This is what we've been waiting for months and months and months. And I'm gonna turn it over to you guys.
Yeah, sounds good. Go through the electrical bids that we received last Wednesday on the 18th. That was just updated to hopefully get that electrical number down from 949,000 that we were at the first time. We ended up receiving 4 electrical numbers. Low was K&W Electric out of Waterloo at 639,936. We had 2 others that were under 700,000, and then one which was the high A&G Electric out of Dubuque was 725,000. So all in all, obviously we were pleased to see a lower electrical number come through. And where the 3 low were, I mean, there was a difference of 60 grand between low and third, so we were comfortable with, those 3. I mean, everyone honestly was looking at the same project and the same documents, so overall very encouraging for us.
What was the driver of the change? Lower bid was better understanding, or what was?
I honestly don't know exactly what the driver was. My suspicion a little bit is Paulson might have heard that they were the only bidder the first time around, so they could have put a little bit of extra on it. But we can't really
Was there anything
control that.
redacted from the first bid to the second?
No,
for electrical?
everything is exactly the same. The addendums, the 3 addendums that were part of bid package 2 R1 was resent out to all the bidders as addendum 1 bid package 3, so they had all of the same documents, everything like that. I know Paulson's, when we talked to them first, obviously after bid, I know their AV equipment and low voltage side, they were saying right around 200,000. Some of their deducts, because we did add deduct to remove the AV equipment out of the meeting room just to isolate that number more than anything. And that was right around just $96,000 there. I mean, all 4 were, within right around that $100,000 range. So, we did change. There was one change. It was the certification that was called out. Originally, I think it was like a level 3. It was COT level 3 for the AV stuff, but we were able to get the lower certification, so more AV contractors and companies could bid, supply numbers to the electricians. So that's how those bids came in, and then obviously the sheet that you have in front of you is just the updated bid summary with K&W Electric in with that 639. We went through and confirmed all of the alternates. So I'd just like to quickly go through those just to make sure everyone's on the same page with those alternates that was discussed back in February. The law center was accepted. The increasing the roof membrane was accepted. Replacing VAV controllers was not accepted. The operable room partition in the meeting room, that was accepted. The lobby 126 storefront, that was not accepted. The garage laundry systems was accepted. The Trazo grid pattern was accepted. which cancels out number 8. Then the alternate 9 generator enclosure, that was accepted. Tile behind drinking fountain, not accepted. The drinking fountains on 2nd and 3rd floor, that was accepted. The roller shades was accepted. The treasurer office work, not accepted. Removing the snow melt, not accepted, so therefore it's in the base bid. And then you see the alternate 5, just the removing the AV equipment. Like I said, that was more just for our knowledge and a possible discussion later if we move forward and we want to take a look at that equipment and see if we can't do something cheaper there or whatnot. So that is just left blank right now, alternate 15, but that 96,000 is included in the base bid amount. So with that update, you can see there at the bottom, the new construction total is just under 10 million at 9.985, and then all in with the owner items at the bottom there is 11.106. So you can see the from the board meeting back in February, those two numbers at the 10.2 and 11.3, and then just the difference there of 237,000. So electrical, the rebid did help a little bit there, and that's what we got right now. So
Questions from Dewey? And we'll start out with Corey. Corey, you want to talk about this since you're more involved?
Well, basically the decision comes down today if the board is ready to move forward this as is with the current pricing, want to go back to redesign. And one concept, just a rough concept that's been thrown away, is getting rid of the meeting room, getting rid of the garage, maintaining essentially the rest of that footprint and upgrades. And my thoughts, if we were to go that way, would be to make it designed so that those features could be added on, like through, like hallways would connect easily, you know, look at elevations to go that route. I look at the numbers here, and I mean, it's more than we want to spend. It's more than we ever planned for on this. We went through, we added features in phase 1, we increased the size of the parking lot. We've been through a significant, if not record-breaking, streak of inflation, you know, during the period from when we started this. So I think understand the reasons behind the inflation on it. I've ran a scenario based on the numbers Patrick provided yesterday in our meeting. You know, the big question, how does this affect our road spending or our other availability uses for lost? That large spreadsheet I had put together a few weeks ago, throwing in the bonding cost, staying at our 6.3 million bonding, using lost fund balance, and then a little bit of general fund, like those couple items we had talked about. Your actual net deduct from what we're currently spending on roads to maintain solvency through that 15-year bonding period would be a $275,000 deduct per year on that. We're spending, if you take an average, since we've been done with the loss center spending on lost, currently we're at about an average of $934,000 a year in lost spending on roads, and that ebbs and flows based on projects, but that's our average. And so using that as a baseline, you could maintain fund balance and maintain spending if you were to cut that by about $275,000 a year, and then at year 16 your fund would be available to start some years of catch-up on roads at that point. So that's a workable fund model if we were in agreement on it. You could go a little bit less cut. I ran a model with $250,000 per year cut down through year 12, and then have to do an additional $125,000 for 3 years to maintain solvency there. Now there's assumptions built into that we wouldn't need lost for something else. I don't have interest accruing on the lost fund balance through those years, so there would be a little bit of benefit to some interest added on those balances, especially in the front years when the balance would be higher. So there's and then there's other operational efficiencies that we know we have to look at, that may free up some other dollars that could manage the roads as well, or another option to make funding available to cover the courthouse bonding. So that's my take on it. I look at it as if we cut those two those two portions of the addition off, you're never going to build them cheaper than you can build them today. Coming in and doing an attached to an existing building is going to be less cost effective than building it once. So those are my views on it.
Dewey, your thoughts? Your questions?
So, this number of 11 million does not include phase one, correct? It does include
It does.
100% of phase
Yep.
one.
Yep. My numbers come out, Dewey, we'd be about 8.4 for phase two.
8.4 for phase two. So, my concern, frankly, is that, well, numerous concerns, but I know that this is a guaranteed low bid, correct? No?
Guaranteed maximum.
Guaranteed maximum bid,
Yep.
right. But what about change orders? How many change orders would we likely see throughout the project? No way to predict that.
Not exactly.
No way to predict it.
What do we have for a contingency?
But that's, yeah, so there's 205,000 in there for those types of items that.
Which could get
unforeseen.
ate up by one finding of asbestos somewhere we didn't anticipate, or that 200 could get eaten up quite quickly. On to my core feeling is that in my mind and I'm going way back to before your time, we had that number thrown at us, and sure, inflation has hit, but 6 million to 11 million, I don't think inflation has been quite that much over the 2.5, 3 years. And I ran when I first ran as county supervisor, I ran significantly on keeping costs down and doing something to improve the rural road system. I'm very proud of what we have accomplished in improving the rural road system, cutting 250,000 a year over a period of the payoff is real dollars. If you cut 100,000 off, it's real dollars. My constituents appreciate what has happened with the roads. The rural folks have complimented this body many times for the improvements that have been made with that system, to include the update of most of the equipment. Those costs too are not going to go down as we move forward. The cost of improving and continuing to upgrade those improved road systems are going to continue to go up. I, in my mind, think of in terms of, is this still yet a big enough need, or can we address the real need, which started out to be an entryway at the north side of the courthouse? I can't support this. I feel that we still need to find a way to recreate the entryway at this point and move forward at a significantly less amount of dollars.
Okay. So we have one option, we talked about this secondary option, and I know we don't have any, Scott, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Talk briefly about it. If we don't proceed with this, what in your mind is option B?
We'd have to do a smaller addition with some sort of entry, lobby, elevator, stairs, install the air handlers, install the fencing around the generator and the other air handler.
Okay. And cost-wise, this is 8.4, what do you think?
I don't have an estimate on that.
Okay.
We had just looked at square footage of that concept of taking off the meeting room and the garage and back building, like on the current square footage cost of this, and we were back up in, where we were like high fives real quick with the air handlers and everything, so you're not out of the realm that you're back kind of what our bond capacity is by itself, standalone, not pulling from fund balance. So.
And just speaking out loud, what do you think about something like that?
Well,
is that still too high, or is it?
Well, something has to be done, right?
Yes.
The reality is, and that's why I sincerely appreciate the work that's gone into this. It's been unusual because there's far more work than any project that I've ever been involved with, but that becomes more digestible. I think that, to Corey's point, if that happens, then whoever is designing it has to do so with his point about creating the potential for the expansion when that becomes a greater need. So if it ever becomes a greater need. So.
Well, we already have equipment that's sitting outside, and we were trying to garage and protect, and we're not able to house our snow removal equipment. I have concerns about longevity of the current elevator and availability of parts, and the elevator goes out, we're defaulting on our obligation for courts. We don't have access to the court floor. So there's a sense of urgency on it as well. Not to push necessarily this version forward. I'm just saying that actions taken need to reflect that sense of urgency.
Yeah, and we don't know what the end of life is of the elevator, but currently Schumacher is doing maintenance on it. Any insight from what they tell us?
No, we have a maintenance contract with them, and they'll repair it if something goes wrong. So, as long as it's nothing major. But they haven't said that, we have 6 months or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, yeah, to me, this is, I hate to say this, but to get out a meeting room for a couple $1 million and a garage is maybe not the most wise use of money. To me, we're only gaining 1 or 2 offices in this whole thing, so it's not a must-have in my mind.
I move to reject the bids as presented.
I'm going to second that, to reject this bid. Discussion on rejection.
To the point of rejecting the bids, I think that we do need to move forward immediately with redesign and develop something that is much more practical. I don't know if that's the right word, so I apologize if it's not. I think the other idea was practical, but something that is more in line with the absolute need, makes more sense to move forward in redeveloping, like the redevelop entry that it started out as, even before the discussion, which, you know, I was pretty favorable for doing the expansion back when the number was what this number will be, what might be even just to do the other portions, so. We're in a quagmire. But this is just now, I just can't vote for this.
We'll have to determine the ARPA implications on the remaining obligations on the elevator. If we have to
Air handler.
essentially
I thought
liquidate
that
the air handler.
The ARPA concern is,
Right now, I believe in phase one, we have not paid for the elevator, correct?
Correct.
We've paid for the air handlers, just not installation of them, and I don't know what was left on that portion, so. And I sent you guys guidance in the question and answers from ARPA. Change orders are being allowed, but expenditures still have to be done by December 31st of this year, so. And if it's a scenario where we're looking at, okay, well, we're not even gonna install the air handlers, and we have to figure out what else we're doing with them, then we're gonna have to dig into it a little further. If that's a repayment of those ARPA dollars on top of the fact that we bought them, I don't know.
I show we have 211,000, some change left to pay. ARPA, that's elevator, and then 25,500 that's Terracon testing that we budgeted out of ARPA.
And Scott had indicated that was for phase one, phase two, but funds can be moved around between projects and unless there's no project to move them to.
I don't believe we can be held hostage to ARPA for a decision of this magnitude, so.
No, it's not, it's just the awareness that we do have an obligation for the expenditure to be completed this year.
2 of the air handlers could be installed relatively easily. It's the third big one that was for the addition that wouldn't be able to go in unless you have an addition.
Correct.
so some of the ARPA funds for air handlers could be used.
I think we paid everything that was in ARPA. It was phase 2 was when they were gonna be installed.
Okay. So if we move to reject, Plan B process would be Dewey saying, jump on it right away. Or if we do reject, I'm not saying we will, but if we do, what would be the plan of action, you think, on a?
Well, we'd asked Eric yesterday to formulate a timeline for us, and that's something he's working on. What would it look like to engage with them to take that rough concept that we've thrown around here the last few weeks of what ifs and generate a direction forward. I mean, this last redesign we went through structurally wasn't as intense because we're actually removing and looking at, we'll have to go down footing level and look at changes that this footprint would make. So we started, September on this redesign essentially. We kind of started in earnest right after Labor Day, so you're probably back at a 6-month turnaround. I mean, based on the timeline we just went through. But Eric can quantify that here in the next, he's gonna be gone for the week, but probably 2 weeks out can get an answer from them.
Yeah.
We kind of spent July and August giving a direction of where we were gonna go, and then in September, we really dug in and took off on this, so. So that probably puts us, it's just a guess without Eric's input, but that's probably October.
And that they're saying we really need to do it because ARPA dollars are going to be in jeopardy if we don't get something going.
Potentially, I mean, that interim while we're planning would need to be figuring out what our obligations there are, and any ability to pivot and repurpose. Elevator and then the large air handler. I mean, there's some small things we could take care of in an interim project. We could knock out the generator enclosure, those air handlers.
With ARPA dollars over there.
As long as it was part of the original concept, then change orders would be allowed. But, I mean, you'd have to look at that. I mean, definitely the air handlers were already part of that original, and so were the elevator. So when you're bringing in new pieces, might need Darius to help us interpret the language, because it's gonna have to be defended somewhere along the line if we have to turn money back over.
Okay. So, well, you could say we can have like the big project and then smaller add-ons at the first, you know, like the fencing around the generators and stuff like that could go first.
Patrick, is there any way that we can approve portions of this project to create that sub-package? I don't know if legally we can do that, the way the contracts are written.
I don't think so, and the reason I say that is, I mean, take like the concrete work, for example. I mean, they're gonna be planning on kind of doing that while they're here as well. So, you know, you got that additional mobilization and stuff
Surely you
like that.
couldn't hold them to their bid price,
No.
for sure.
So you're gonna go back to a rebid on that, but that could be a matter of 45 days and we could knock out some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the bids from the first phase, they expire late this week or the next week. To the 60 days from the first bid. So, and then just rephasing of everything changes just all the work that's gone into it. You know, all the, so starting over, redesign fees, longer pre-con, longer, you know, just starting over is not what really anyone wants to do. And we've gone through concepts on just a stairwell, and I think those that have been rejected prior, just because it was a very expensive project just for a stair. So what can you do to help on it? And we went to this next concept. I mean, is it a possibility to just get the shell done and do a TI later? You know, but again, it's very difficult to try to morph what we bid and scheduled. You know, whether you're building in the summer or then the winter, it changes winter conditions. We've been trying to stay out of that, and that came out from the first go around to now where we don't have winter conditions, so we save some dollars there. But it's, you know, if you start in October, that's about the worst time you can start getting in the ground. It can be done. You just need to take all those considerations and pushing things back. And whether, you know, Patrick's available is, you get different projects, whether he would be around or not, or we have project managers. It just changes.
What is the total clawback amount from should we fail to spend the ARPA dollars?
So it would just be what we have remaining, and
Right,
then.
and I'm sorry, I don't have that number in front of me. I don't recall it, so.
Unspent ARPA 211 or?
Well, I'm showing in the spreadsheet, I don't know if this is the total, because I think we had some left over from the recorder's project, but I'm showing about 237 towards this project, just shy of 237.
Again, I'm not gonna be held hostage for $237,000.
We have a little over 21,000 left of the ARCA search for the recorder project, which I don't know how much more of that there's even coming, so we were gonna already have to transition that maybe to the phase 1 project. And then yes, we have Terracon left, and then what we have left from Myron.
But on top of that, the money that we spent on that large air handler, if we have to sell that, if it's not usable, I mean, essentially those proceeds, would those go back?
I don't know.
That's the question.
One of the areas we have to look at is if.
Several
If we
$100,000
could
there.
basically, exchange it out, I don't know.
How much was that air handler? The big one that we're talking about.
I don't know exactly just that one because it was all
three were.
combined. Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any more discussion on move to reject? Alrighty, we'll go for a vote of move to reject project 2 expansion. All in favor of to reject, say aye.
Aye.
Corey, how do you vote?
I'm opposed.
No, and I vote aye. Of course, the chair votes aye. So, definitely thank you for all your time. I mean, this is just a large project and a lot of governmental reorganization being discussed in the state of Iowa. So I do appreciate all this. I think we'll have to regroup on a plan B where we go from here. So we'll discuss it next. We'll put it on discussion and bring Missy down and she can finalize up her ARPA dollars too. So.
Are you guys interested in, maybe you can't answer this, but are you interested in staying on if we attempt to redesign and move forward with a lesser project?
Me personally, I would like to. I'd like to see it out personally, but I got bigger bosses than me.
Well, I always say that because, you know, there is some value in, you know, to your point, you know, you guys have been here through the development stage of this, and you have knowledge that if we hire a new construction manager firm, then we're truly 100% starting over. So.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, you've, I'm sure, experienced this before. This isn't the first time you've been rejected. This one just took longer.
It's been an ongoing process. So I think we'll continue to support as needed, and we'll, as things come out, we'll be able to hopefully quickly turn around pricing and get a positive forward direction that can meet everyone's
I think
needs.
on next Tuesday, we need to have Scott and we need to sit back down and talk about what that redesign looks like, and then have Scott reach out to Eric right after that and see if he's willing to participate in a redesign, and then move forward immediately and see if that timeline can be followed or move more quickly because of all the work that has been done in the initial design.
Cassandra, can you and Darius work through the nuances of the ARPA?
Yeah, I will send Darius the various guidelines from NACO and kind of the questions we have and see what you think.
I will say, I talked with Schumacher on the elevator. Way back when they put a hold on the elevator, so they're only in like $3,000 to $5,000 right now. So just to keep that out there as well.
But unfortunately, that's still the driving piece.
Correct. Correct.
Transportation.
Yes.
You wouldn't think an elevator would be such a,
Yep.
problem, but
Yeah.
the fact is it is. Only the
Where it's
would have
located.
been built bigger back in the day, we wouldn't.
With where it's located, if it's surrounded by the stair, and that needs to be updated as well. So I mean,
Right.
can of worms, the proverbial.
And Corey's earlier point again earlier that, you know, we have to do our best to keep accessibility to the court. Now, I don't know if we could make some sort of an appeal to the state to you know, do something different for court purposes for handicap accessibility, but I guess that's something we'll have to worry about also.
It'd be every floor but the main floor, actually, because people can't get down to the basement.
True. Yeah, good point.
Only the main floor is accessible.
Right.
Well, it's important to keep that elevator well maintained. So,
Well, it just becomes such a problem though, working around it, if you just rip it out. And,
yeah.
it could be.
Good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, we are adjourned.